Hello, my name is Aiden Lindley, and I did my activist project on Mahatma Gandhi. And now you can go through the slides with me. So that was the presentation slide. Now we're beginning on slide 2, biography. Okay. His full name is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and he was born on October 2nd in 1869. He was born in Porbandar, India, which at the time was called British Raj because it was under the British. He went to Alfred High School and Samaldas Arts College in India. He then spent 3 years in London studying law, and then after that he decided to become a lawyer. And he was a civil rights lawyer. And then after doing that, he was a civil rights activist in South Africa, there he employed the nonviolent resistance to lead the successful campaign for India's independence and civil rights across the world. He then went on his famous hunger strike, which inspired movements for independence across the world. Then he was sadly assassinated by gunshot wounds, and he died on January 30th in 1948 in India, and he was 78 years old. So done with slide 1, now we're on slide 3, total notable achievements. So some of his notable achievements are that he fought against racial discrimination in South Africa. His campaign in South Africa led to the 1914 Indian Relief Act, which obviously helped them gain independence. He won his first battle of civil disobedience in India at Champaran. He successfully led a nonviolent tax revolt in Quetta. He led the non-cooperation movement. He led the Salt March. He launched the Quit India movement, demanding end of British rule. He was a leading figure responsible for India achieving independence. He fought against social evils in society like untouchability, and he was a runner-up in Einstein's End Times Person of the Century. Next slide. Now, here are some challenges that he had to face. He fought against discrimination for being an Indian in South Africa. He was humiliated and beaten for what he believed in by British troops. He went on a hunger strike and a protest of the British government. That hunger strike lasted 27 days where he didn't eat anything, and he survived, and it was a really popular thing and was very motivating for the Indians. And he was matched up against Ahmed Bar, who was the greatest leader of the Untouchables. Next slide. His later life. Okay, so in his later life, he lived in South Africa. He was studying world religions. He started to immerse himself in sacred Hindu spiritual texts. So he was doing that, and then he actually adopted a life of simplicity, austerity, and celibacy that was free of material goods. So he was doing all that, and then he was assassinated by Natharam Godse, who was just a civilian in South Africa that hated Gandhi. Next slide. His legacy. So what his legacy is that he was revered for helping liberate India from British imperialism. That was huge. He was known for his nonviolent protest. He believed that violence was not necessary. His legacy was his hunger strike, obviously. That was a very popular thing he did, one of the most famous things he ever did. He faced scrutiny against modern ideas about race, feminism, and nationalism, and he was one of the greatest political and spiritual leaders of all time. And then, next slide, I have some pictures of him. So I can't really show you, but the picture of him right there, that's of him as a child. There's one in there coloring There's a movie, one from a movie that was made after him. There's one when he was studying law, and then that's him being really skinny in his hunger strike. And then some famous quotes from Gandhi is that be the change that you wish to see in the world. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. And that's the end. And I have this picture of Gandhi that says, as the means, so the end. So that's Gandhi. Thank you.